for this bonus episode, of course, we're going to do another fun thing, another weird and different new segment. I call this one Change My Mind. Some people may have seen this meme of this one guy sitting at some table and he has some take, and at the bottom it says, Change My Mind. I thought I'd try to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to throw out this statement here, and you all can try to change my mind. Or, hey, you know what? You could all agree with me, and we could all just let bygones be bygones, because sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong, but sometimes I'm right. So what do you think of this? If the Montreal Canadiens get a good trade offer for Josh Anderson, they should trade him. Change my mind. Or essentially, you know what? I'll boil it down to this. The Canadiens should trade Josh Anderson ahead of the trade deadline. Change my mind.
Cannot do it. Cannot even entertain the thought. Hughes has talked about the type of players that he would like to have. Josh Anderson, skater, competitor, character kid, a guy that, fits the mold of the Montreal Canadiens, loves to be part of the Montreal Canadiens. And listen, I could not at this point even consider a guy like that being moved, because I think he can be a very, very big part of this hockey club moving forward.
Yeah, he's the power forward that they've been looking for years. And I think they got him just out of the circumstances that he had surgery. There was no proof that he was going to recover and be the kind of player that he was before. He only had one goal up until that point when his season had to come to an end when he underwent shoulder surgery. So it was a gamble that the Canadiens took to acquire Josh Anderson, and they can't let him go now. Absolutely not. If this trade happens, I think in the end that it would just bite the Canadiens in the butt, that they wouldn't be able to replace him. And like I said, they've been looking for a player like this for so long. They finally got him. They can't let him go just yet.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeff, forever they were trying to get a power forward, and they don't become available very often. The only reason Josh Anderson did is because Columbus was worried about the shoulder and moving forward, how he would play with it. Marc Bergevin saw an opportunity, jumped at it, and signed him to a long-term contract. He's only 27 years old. Look at what he's done for Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield since they've been line mates together. He's the perfect fit for those two young guys. He goes hard to the net. He'll protect them if needed. Now we saw Cole Caulfield get hit in New York against the Islanders, and Josh Anderson came right to his defense. Those guys, players like him, don't grow on trees. They're hard to find. They finally got one. It's a reasonable contract. He's on pace for what would be a 30-goal season. He has 15 goals after the game, again, the hat trick against Winnipeg, and he missed 11 games with injuries. Guys like him are hard to find, and he loves being a Montreal Canadian. He's played with pride. He's played with passion. He's become a powerful voice in the locker room. His comments after Dominic Ducharme's last game, I think, are a big reason why it was his last game. He spoke for the team about how they weren't having fun, how they needed a refresh. It wasn't fun coming to the rink. And I think that was the ammunition that Jeff Gorton needed to go to Jeff Molson and say, look, we got to make a coaching change here. We have to. Just listen to what Josh Anderson said last night, and he's a respected guy in the room. His dad grew up on Montreal's West Island, a big Canadiens fan. His mother's uncle is Peter Mahovlich.
Yes.
Keeps in touch with him. He wears the CH with pride. And to me, not only should they not trade him, I could see him as the future captain of this team. He's if I've always thought Brendan Gallagher is the next captain. We'll see what happens before the trade deadline. I have a feeling they're going to be trying to move Brendan Gallagher. Gallagher looks like he's having a hard time with all the injuries and that. But Josh Anderson has become a really vocal player on the team, a leader on and off the ice. And he's a guy I could see as a potential captain moving forward to this team. He seems to have everything that you would want in a leader for your hockey team. So I hope I can change your mind. I would not trade him.
And not only did you do that, I'm stunned at the fact that you've changed tune on the captain front. You have been beating the Brendan Gallagher captain drum for as long as I've been doing this show with you. And the fact that you think Josh Anderson could be the captain of this team. What a change. You killed this segment, Stu. Goodness.
You talk about character and a quality person. I mean, if you look back when the team was struggling for most of the year, Josh Anderson was one of the few guys that showed up and showed a real care in, doing it the best he could possibly do to turn things around. So compliments to him and everything that he's about, because he's a real deal, and he's a big part of the Montreal Canadiens, and I really would not like to see him go.
Yeah, he never blamed the coach during when things were bad, and he said we need to play better and we have a system we have to play. He said we have to play for the crest on the front of our jersey at one point when they were struggling. As I said, he's been we don't get in the locker room anymore as a media, so it's hard to get to know what these guys are really like. But just from the Zoom sessions and in the press conference room in Brossard, he strikes me as a guy who's a leader. And Nick Suzuki talked about what a great teammate he is, how much fun he has on the road going out for dinners with Anderson. He said he comes to work every day. He works hard. He's fun to be around. He's got a good sense of humor. And as I said, he just seems to be moving forward. If you want a fresh start with this team, I think he's a guy you build this team around.
Okay. Jess, did you have any final thoughts before we wrapped up?
I was just going to also say his commitment to the city. Remember, during the offseason, he came to Montreal early. He was practicing with Jonathan Drouin as well, that, this is where he wants to be. And I think that's a huge part of it, too. We've spoken about in the past is that this organization is more than just a hockey team. And he's really been enjoying his time here. So why not keep a guy who likes it here?
And they're talking about maybe attracting free agents. Here's a guy who could sell it. Like, look, I've been from Marty St. Louis. This is like, it's fun playing here. You want to come and play for this guy. So that's another thing I think you can bring to the team moving forward also.
Okay. You've gone above and beyond changing my mind with Josh Anderson. You've made your points very well of you. Write in the comments section what you think about Josh Anderson. Is he the next captain of the Montreal Canadiens? Should the Canadiens even be entertaining any trade offers for him ahead of this month's trade deadline, which I believe we're about 3 weeks away? It's March. We're still in early March. We're about 3 weeks away from the trade deadline. It's coming fast and furious. Also, subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out show on YouTube. Subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out newsletter. Visit hockeyinsideout.com to check out our full episode.